All right, so we're going to wrap up this chapter here real quick by hitting some of the key points and just kind of wrapping things up. All right, first thing, the EU is the best example of supranational cooperation in the world today. 28 countries working together, pretty much united on political, cultural, and economic forces is pretty incredible. You don't see that a lot, especially at that number of countries. The EU works because its member countries have been willing to give up some power, but just how much power does remain an issue. So if you go back to the conversation we had the other day about European mindsets, this idea that the community and the society is above the individual, that's why this works in Europe. Because there is not that individualistic approach to everything. People in Europe have always kind of really been about doing what's best for society and the community. That's why the EU works. However, some Europeans do want their own independent, power back. A lot of Europeans do see the EU as kind of like a United States of Europe, kind of. They see United States as, a powerful country with all of our states, represented and united together and working together, and it's different. And that's kind of what the EU kind of strives to be, maybe a little bit. But some do fear that this might give a lot of power to the EU like a nation, and they're not quite ready to give up all that power just yet. So, ultimate question, is the EU really worth it? It's been around now for a few decades, and there's been good times and bad times, but most Europeans tend to agree upon these few things. So number one, economically. Economically, the EU is seen as incredibly beneficial. Most people in the EU agree that the benefits of free trade and that trade bloc definitely outweigh the drawbacks. A huge thing, especially for people in Europe, is free trade allowing more competition amongst products within a country. And again, that's going to drive down the cost of items within the EU. If you do decide to get rid of that free trade, the cost of items is going to increase. You're now going to have to pay taxes and tariffs, and you're going to have less competition. So that plus the power that you have internationally when you unite your forces is very beneficial. So the economic aspects are very, very good. Politically, though, the European Union is seen as a drawback. Politically, that loss of independent decision making for most Europeans outweighs the positives. Being told what to do by other people, a continent away, is sometimes not seen or viewed as the best. Okay? And the last one, culturally. This is interesting because the ideas here are quite split. Most Europeans like the idea of European citizenship and free travel and practicing inclusion and speaking multiple languages and experiencing and cultures and having the peace that after years and years of war the EU has brought. But again, like we just covered, there are some major drawbacks where the cultures may start to clash with some of the policies. So this one's kind of split. So as you can see, depending on where you fall and what means more to you, the economics, the politics, the cultural aspects, some people view the EU worth it and some people don't. Recently, though, the EU has been a topic on many countries' minds as to whether or not it's really necessary and whether or not it's a positive force to be a part of. Brexit. Okay, so again, a few years back, the United Kingdom held a vote for its citizens, and they had voted to leave the European Union. This was the first time anyone has ever done that before. They still are part of the European Union as of now, but there's been a lot of talk and a lot of speculation as to what's really going to happen to the United Kingdom. One thing is going to be known for sure is they're going to struggle economically. Leaving the EU is going to be very hurtful to Great Britain because that free trade is going to be gone. They're going to start paying higher taxes and tariffs on importing and exporting goods in and out of the country. There's going to be less competition, and the price, the cost of living is going to rise. And that is definitely going to be felt quite immediately. So we know that that's coming, and they're still trying to work out exactly how that's going to happen. But it's happening now, and it's just something to kind of be aware of. So Cooperation amongst nations is not just limited to Europe. There are other countries out there that do work together on different problems and issues that they share, such as the United Nations, probably being the biggest one, bigger than the European Union. NATO stands for North Atlantic Trade Organization. NAFTA, which is the North American Free Trade Agreement. The United States is part of all three of those organizations listed below. The EU is not unique in the sense of it's the only kind of group out there. It's unique in the sense of people giving up power and decision making to be a part of a group, yes. And again, that goes back to that European mindset. So that kind of wraps up this chapter on the European Union, the benefits, the drawbacks, politically, economically, and culturally. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to do the processing activity, the critical thinking activity in the very back of the packet, and that will kind of help you look a little bit closer at the political representation in the EU. All right, thank you.